Hey, this is Joe Gilder from Home Studio Corner, and if you want to make more music than you've ever made, continue watching this video. If you're frustrated with the amount of output creatively or the lack of output creatively, let's talk about that. So this is a purple notebook, and inside you will see it says 50 songs, deadline, April 26th, 2014. So in 2014, I set a goal to write 50 songs over a 12-week period. I wanted to record a new album, and I didn't have any music. I had recently done a cover album, which was fun because I didn't have to write the songs, I just had to record them. But I wanted to do a whole album of my own original material. And I knew I needed to write songs, and if I only wrote 10 songs, then I knew I would record those 10 songs, and they probably would only be 2 or 3 that were really great. That whole 80-20 principle at play. So I decided to write 50 songs in hopes that I would have 10 good ones. So as you can see, the deadline, you can't see it, but the deadline was April 26th. And this is the list of song titles as I wrote the song. So as I went through the notebook, I would write the song lyrics on the left-hand side, and then would leave space on the right-hand side, I guess, for the chart, if there was ever going to be one, or if I wanted to continue expanding on the lyrics. But as it turns out, I came out of the gates hot, like one song every day, because 50 songs in 12 weeks means basically a song every weekday. And I thought that's totally doable. So I was set. First appointment with myself for the day was to write a song. So a few weeks in, I was just song a day, song a day, song a day. Great. Until I got to about song 25 or so. And I realized I just started to trail off. Wasn't writing a song a day. I felt like I was ahead of the game, and I got distracted by other things because 12 weeks is a long time. It's 3 months. And so the next thing I know, I'm kind of going over my notes and like what I'm working on, and I realize, oh shoot, I'm supposed to write 50 songs in 12 weeks. And I look, and I've only got about half of them written. And so it was about 2 weeks until the deadline. And I thought to myself, I can either just say I gave it the good college try and be happy with the 20-something songs that I wrote, which would totally be a win, or I could knuckle down and try to get these written in 2 weeks. Well, I opted for the latter, and this is the second 25 songs. And what I ended up doing is I wrote down what dates I wrote these. So I wrote 4 songs on this day, 4 on this day, 3 on this day, 4 on this day, 2, 3, 3, and 1. And it was a sprint. I would literally, no idea was off limits because I just was at some point just cranking out songs, even if they were bad songs. What's intriguing, there's a point to all this. What's intriguing is, as I look at this list of the songs I wrote, the 25 songs I wrote in that 2-week period, really over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically 7 days worth of writing, where I would literally from like 8 a.m. to noon write 4 songs. So a song an hour, just going. If I look here and count the number of those songs that made it on the album, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. I think that's right. 9 of the songs that made it onto the album, and it was a 13-song album, came during that 2-week sprint where I was just writing for no reason other than to just literally get the final 50 number of songs written. There's a really important lesson here. When I first announced that I was doing this challenge, a lot of people said, Joe, that's dumb. Don't do it because you can't force creativity like that. You're just going to crank out a bunch of bad songs. As it turns out, that's not true. When I was plowing through, like I wrote one song about a turtle because I was just out of ideas. That song ended up being on the album, and I think the reason is because I had spent so much time in the first half of the challenge just writing songs and kind of just familiarizing myself, exercising that songwriting muscle, getting the lyrics together, getting the chord progression together, finding the melody over and over and over again, that I started to build some momentum. Even though I took a big break, when I sat down to crank things out in that last 2-week period, it was like the songs just came more quickly because I had spent time getting my brain in a place where it was ready to write a bunch of songs. And even though I was flying through 9 of the 13 songs, what is that? That's at least 3/4 of the songs, close to 3/4, were good enough to make it onto the album. The rest of these songs got canned. So 13 out of 50 made it on the album. The other 50 I never did anything with. And that, to me, is a solid win. It proves that we can be creative even when we're backed into a corner. It proves that quantity can lead to quality. And it demonstrates a very important point, and this is the point I wanted to share with you. Deadlines work. Okay? I would have never written 50 songs had I not set a deadline of, what was it? April 26th, 2014. And you can see the last song I wrote was on like April 25th. This never would have happened, which means I might have written the first half of songs just on my own intuition and kind of drive, but the second half would not have happened. Would not have happened, which means I would not have gotten 9 of those 13 songs had I not done this challenge. If you aren't creating the music that you feel like you were born to create, if you're not producing and releasing songs either in the quantity that you want or perhaps you're not releasing anything, first of all, that's normal. It's supposed to be difficult. Things that are worth doing are oftentimes difficult. This was difficult. I was really mad at myself. Several times I sat down to write because I was so tired of writing. But I ended up with songs that I'm proud of, and I'm proud of this whole process. And I want the same for you. So the secret to all of this is to set deadlines, to set a specific deadline and a specific goal, and then work towards it. It's nothing new. It's nothing revolutionary. It's not earth-shattering, but it could literally change your life. So here's my offer to you. I've got a VIP membership. It's very inexpensive, and if you want to join, you can join at least today. This is probably going away, but for now, you can join for 30 days for free and get access to the whole members area to check out what we do. We do challenges where we complete projects. We're currently working on an EP challenge. You can jump in and check it out, and the thing I want you to check out is a mini course that I created for this EP challenge where I literally schedule out my deadlines. It's actually a series of deadlines for my own EP. I pull out my calendar and I do it for you on camera, on video, so you can see what that process looks like, both the theology behind it, if that makes sense, the theory of it, but also the practicality of like, okay, what does that actually look like? And as it turns out, the deadlines that I set, I blew past all of them and have gotten very close to the finish line, but it wouldn't have happened without the deadlines. If you want to check out VIP, I'd love for you to come check it out completely free, no strings attached. You can cancel anytime. Go to homestudiocorner.com/VIP. Thanks for watching. See you.